Oh, what's cracking, guys? What's cracking? What's happening? How's everybody doing, man? How's everybody doing? How's everybody doing? Yeah, I think that's what we'll cover tonight. I didn't know what I was going to cover tonight. I didn't know what I was going to cover tonight. I didn't know what was going to be what we was going to cover tonight, man. Um, okay, yeah, that's what we'll cover tonight, man. We'll cover that. We'll cover that. Uh, okay, so we get it cracking tonight with that, man. Yeah, man, we get it cracking tonight with that, man. Uh, how's everybody doing? Everybody hit the like button, man. Everybody hit the like button, man. Everybody smash that like button, man.
Stabbed, and this all unfolded in the Gates Park neighborhood near.
Everybody hit that like button, man. Smash it, man. Smash it, yo. Smash it, yo. Yo, yo, yo. Yeah, man. Don't make me lock the doors, man. Do I have to lock the doors again tonight, man? I'm feeling that there's some saints in here tonight, man. I have a feeling that there's some saints in here tonight that want to plant a seed. I'm just asking every saint in here tonight to plant a $20 seed, man. Plant a $20 seed, man. Ushers, lock the doors and pull the shades. Pull the shades, lock the doors. Yeah. Pull the shades and lock the doors. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I'm getting a feeling that there's somebody in here tonight that wants to share their treasure. Not just their time and their talent, but their treasure. I'm getting the feeling that somebody who wants to share their treasure. I'm getting the feeling in here tonight that somebody wants to share their treasure. Oh, Lord, Hamadabosha. It's okay. You ain't got nowhere to go. Door's locked. I'm on a bullshit. Shout out to Gouch Below, man. Gouch Below, man. She trying to get y'all up out of here, man. Gouch Below, man. Gouch Below trying to get y'all up out of here, man. Gouch Below said, man, it's getting hot in here. So take off all your clothes. I can't get it so hot. I just want to take my clothes off. Ha! In the name of the Lord. Gouch Below said, you ain't got to unlock the doors. But at least open the shades. At least open the curtains and let some light in here. I said, deacons, you have my permission to open the curtains. Open one curtain. Deacons, you have my permission to open one curtain. We keep them doors locked. In the name of Jesus, keep them doors locked. In the name of Jesus, keep them doors locked. And I don't want y'all to feel like y'all confined in there. I don't want y'all to feel like y'all can't go. I don't want y'all to feel like y'all stuck in here, like y'all confined. Because at any moment, any one of y'all can bull rush the ushers, and kick down one of these barricaded doors and make your way to freedom. So you're not confined. Oh, but he saith, he who shareth his treasure shall receive pleasure. Mm-hmm. So we got one seed planted, but we need a forest. We need some CO2 eating saints up in here. We need some CO2 goblin saints up in this house tonight. Yes. Some CO2 goblin saints up in here. All right, bring the donation basket up front. We're going to start the show, but we're going to keep the doors locked, all right? Doors locked for everybody unless you left your wallet in the car. If you left your wallet in the car, then I have one of the deacons escort you to your car and promptly bring you back to your seat.
2 people are dead in a violent shooting spree on the southwest side.
A third victim was stabbed, and this all unfolded in the Gage Park neighborhood near 53rd and Kedzie. Nate Rogers is live there now for us. Nate?
Yeah, Sylvia and Tara, it's a very shocking scene here. The medical examiner's office just releasing the names of 2 of those victims, 63-year-old Richard Romo, as well as 64-year-old Rita Chavez. Now, we've yet to learn a motive in this case, and it's also unclear if the attacker knew his victims. We do know that area detectives are wondering if both these incidents are connected. Now, last night, police found Romo shot in the head. They found Chavez shot multiple times. Both victims were pronounced dead inside an apartment here in the 5300 block of South Kedzie. It happened around 10 p.m. on the same block. Around that same time, police say a man armed with a gun and knife approached a 37-year-old man outside of a bar. Both of them walked inside of the Just One More Sports Bar. Police say once inside, the offender stabbed and attacked a woman at the bar. Here's more from patrons that were inside at the time.
Some people were around me, and then I was there, and then and then I saw this guy running out, like from the door, not to get shot.
We were just hanging out right there at the bar, and this guy was just,
Exactly.
he walks in, takes out the knife and everything, starts shooting.
Now, at last check, that third victim, the woman that was stabbed inside of the bar, was listed in good condition. We do know that the bar is back open for service today. The manager not available to speak to us. We know that that 57-year-old suspect was taken into custody. No charges as of yet. Police also did recover a firearm here at the...
We covered that last night.
I actually believe, Anthony, that the rain may have kept a lot of teenagers from returning here today to the AMC Theater, but I will share with you all, there was a successful event held earlier in the day at Navy Pier aimed to provide a safe space for teenagers. This, of course, comes after a lot of unruly behavior taking place here in Streeterville on last night. AMC Theater's Streeterville location loaded with Chicago police. Here's why.
I thought one of these kids was going to get hit by a car or a bus.
Here's just a glimpse of the chaos. 8 p.m. Friday, teenagers storming East Illinois Street. The city estimating 300 teens gathered for about 4 hours. There were fights, a 15-year-old shot in the leg, an 18-year-old also stabbed nearby. Chicago teenagers deserve to enjoy Navy Pier, the city, just like anybody else, but they have to behave.
Absolutely. What they're not welcome to do is break windows, steal from stores, jump on cars, block traffic, intimidate pedestrians, and shoot guns into crowds. That happens.
Oh, okay. So, hey, man, listen. They're not allowed. Listen, man. This is racist. Listen to the things. I want you to listen to the things that black teens are not allowed to do, man. This is crazy, man. Listen to the things that black teens are not allowed to do. I mean, when is it going to stop? When is it going to stop? The unfair treatment to Americas. Two Americas. We live in one America. I'm tired of two. Press one if you're tired of living in two different Americas. I'm tired of living in two different Americas, man. I'm tired of living in two different Americas. Listen to what black teens aren't allowed to do. And I want you to think about, is this America that you want to live in?
Enjoy Navy Pier, the city, just like anybody else, but they have to behave.
Absolutely. What they're not welcome to do is break windows, steal from stores, jump on cars, block traffic, intimidate pedestrians, and shoot guns into crowds. That happened last night.
See what I'm saying, man? But the white kids get to do whatever they want.
Chicago teenagers deserve to enjoy Navy Pier, the city, just like anybody else, but they have to behave.
Absolutely. What they're not welcome to do is break windows, steal from stores, jump on cars, block traffic, intimidate pedestrians, and shoot guns into crowds. That happened last night.
12 people were arrested, including 2 for aggravated assault to a police officer. From spring break opportunities to 29,000 summer jobs coming, even park district events. The city and its partners have organized more activities to keep teens productive. Earlier today, a teen bash was held at Navy Pier. 1,500 young people in attendance for video games, skateboarding, and a massive job fair.
We got a butterfly museum. We got stuff for animal shelters. There's so many opportunities, fireman opportunities.
Back outside of AMC around 4 p.m., officers huddled in position, preparing for a possible second round. Rodney Phillips is with the Crisis Prevention Response Unit.
90% of the kids that come down here, they come down here for a safe space to enjoy themselves, to escape the things that are going on in their neighborhoods.
Mayor Brendan Johnson saying,
"Yeah, I will agree with that. Sadly, this guy's right, though. But the bad part is that when they come down there, they bring the stuff that's going on in their neighborhoods. I think he's right. These are not the worst kids in Chicago. The worst kids in Chicago are in the hood, banging, sliding, and then they're on the block. They doing, they in the projects. They doing their thing. These kids that are coming downtown are trying to escape that to a degree. Majority of these kids are not the worst of the worst. Now that's relative, but they're bringing the things they're trying to escape downtown, brother.
p.m. officers huddled in position, preparing for a possible second round. Rodney Phillips is with the Crisis Prevention Response Unit.
90% of the kids that come down here, they come down here for a safe space to enjoy themselves, to escape the things that are going on in their neighborhoods.
Mayor Brendan Johnson saying, quote, "No one wants to see the reckless and dangerous behavior that was exhibited last night. We are not going to tolerate it. Also, those who have caused chaos will be held accountable," he says. If there's something you could say to the young people that come down just to have a good time, what do you want to tell them?
Man, just come down here, enjoy yourself, just be mindful and respectful.
And of course, Alderman Brian Hopkins is advocating to change that curfew from 10 o'clock to 8 o'clock. Mayor Johnson says he's not in
Be mindful and respectful.
And of course, Alderman Brian Hopkins is advocating to change that curfew from 10 o'clock to 8 o'clock. Mayor Johnson says he's not in favor of that plan. He says that will only displace the teens and shift the problem to another community. Now, AMC.
So all that will do is displace the teens and shift the problem to another community. Well, let's play hot potato with these sons, man. I don't care, man. If I was the people in this community, I'm like, fuck it. We're gonna play hot potato, man. Get them out of here. Wherever they go next, that's their problem. They got to do something. Because all I'm worried about is my community. If I'm the alderman. I don't give a fuck what happened to those kids when they go somewhere else, where we displace them to. Let them that neighborhood has to get tough on kids.
About 24 hours ago, it was a raucous night in the Streeterville neighborhood as hundreds of young people took over the area, and it was not peaceful. A 15-year-old boy was shot. WGN's Courtney Spinelli has details.
The area around Columbus Drive and Illinois Street delving into chaos as hundreds of teens flooded the Streeterville neighborhood. Fights unfolding, people running through traffic, and gunfire erupting for the second time this month during one of these gatherings.
You just pray that there won't be a loss of life. You pray that there won't be severe injuries because you know the potential for that to happen is omnipresent.
Alderman Brian Hopkins was out with police during the nearly 4-hour event that resulted in 14 arrests. Police sources say at least 10 were minors and 3 had replica guns on them. Several were arrested on charges of battery on a peace officer.
These were teenagers punching and striking police officers.
Just before 9:45, someone opened fire in the 400 block of North City Front Plaza, the sounds of it rippling through the area.
Punching and striking police officers.
Is omnipresent.
Alderman Brian Hopkins was out with police during the nearly 4-hour event that resulted in 14 arrests. Police sources say at least 10 were minors and 3 had replica guns on them. Several were arrested on charges of battery on a peace officer.
These were teenagers punching and striking police officers.
Just before 9:45, someone opened fire in the 400 block of North City Front Plaza, the sounds of it rippling through the area. A 15-year-old boy left on the ground with a graze wound to his leg as officers saw dozens of people running away. He's expected to be okay, but Hopkins says this needs to be a wake-up call.
And I don't want to wait until someone actually gets killed from random gunfire.
Several people involved in the community say they love Streeterville, but they're disheartened by recent events. They worry about the impact to not only residents, but everyone who comes to work or to visit the neighborhood home to Navy Pier.
We welcome people to Streeterville. They have to be civil.
This is not the Chicago that we want people to take home with them.
Yo, you know what he voted for. Like, you don't even have to ask him, man. You know he voted for this, man. He demanded this. He demanded this. Shout out to CA, man. CA in the building. He demanded this. He wouldn't have it any other way.
Home to Navy Pier.
We welcome people to Streeterville. They have to be civil.
Why? Why are you welcoming people to Streeterville? Why are you welcoming those people to Streeterville? Because you have to say that. You have to say that. You have to say stupid shit like that. You don't welcome those motherfucking sun turds down to Streeterville. You wish they find somewhere else to go. You just don't have enough kahunas. You don't have enough kahunas. The city, the aldermen talking about, so we don't want to shift the problem to somewhere else. We don't want to displace the kids and shift the problem somewhere else. Well, hey, man, listen, man, I live in Streeterville. We need the problem shifted somewhere else, man.
This is not the Chicago that we want people to take home with them. 2 weekends ago, right at this corner, the woman was shot, a tourist visiting from Connecticut. That was shocking. Then seeing this.
Lucas Duza caught someone using a stun gun in the middle of a group that was fighting. He's always felt safe in the area, but is hoping to be a voice for those who don't.
It has an effect. People are not wanting to walk down the street as much as they used to.
Shout out to CA, man. So they shut in, man. Y'all shut in, man. Y'all don't want to leave the house at night. Because a bunch of fucking sun turds that live on the other side of town. And you ain't got enough balls to address it. Not even go out there with a baseball bat. This is the thing. These whites are so pussy that they don't even have the balls to address it with like legislation and shit. They don't have the balls to address it through their councilmen, through their aldermen. Nobody's saying you got to get a baseball bat and throw on a wife beater in a skimpy ass chain, a skimpy ass gold chain and a wife beater, and go out there with a baseball bat. Nobody's saying that, man. Hold fast. I'll be right back. Hold on. Yeah, I heard a loud thud, man. My damn son fell out of the bed, man. I know I heard so. I was like, what the fuck is that? Boom. His little ass fell out the bed. You know how babies be. Crawl once they learn how to crawl. His ass fell out the bed, man.
Fighting. He's always felt safe in the area, but is hoping to be a voice for those who don't.
It has an effect. People are not wanting to walk down the street as much as they used to. Trying to enjoy the weather, and it's sad. It's sad.
Lisa and Shonda Williams visiting from Maryland there before.
Visiting from Maryland.
It's sad.
Lisa and Shonda Williams visiting from Maryland there before things turned violent. They say they love Chicago and they're not concerned.
I just weaved my way through the crowds and was just trying to get back to the hotel.
Hopkins wants to see an earlier curfew.
Of course, the sister, like what? They just kids having fun. They just kids having fun. What? Oh my God, that's a great comment, Jake Best. Shout out to Govan O. Ugo Von Jane Goodall, GOAT. Yeah. This some straight up Jane would love this, man. This some good people watching, man. This is some good Sunfari. This is a Sunfari. Nah, man. Straight up. Imagine glider teens doing this shit in a black neighborhood. You think this fucking woman would be all fucking ho-hum about it? You think she'd be like, oh, this is no problem. I mean, we love it here. You think the tenor of this woman would be different if this was fucking glider kids running through the fucking black neighborhood, destroying it?
And it's sad. It's sad.
Lisa and Shonda Williams visiting from Maryland there before things turned violent. They say they love Chicago and they're not concerned.
I just weaved my way through the crowds and was just trying to get back to the hotel.
Hopkins wants to see an earlier curfew imposed at 8 to help officers get a 2-hour jump on the current one for unaccompanied minors. 6 teens were issued curfew violations Friday night.
These are inherently dangerous events. They're not silly kids making silly decisions.
Hopkins.
Thank you. I'm glad he said that, man. These are not silly kids making silly decisions. These are thugs. These are hardened thugs. Yes, not the worst the city has to offer, but that don't mean nothing. The JV team, the fucking hood team, the hood JV team is hell on wheels, man, in Blackistan. The freshman team is hell on wheels. Shout out to Big Pete, man. Big Pete, yay. He said, catching up on my tithing. Salute to Hawk and them glider boys, Hot Black, KB and Fish. Yeah, shout out to them glider boys, man. Yeah, Big Pete said, man, you know what, man? Open the drapes, man. And turn the circuit breaker back on. But we're gonna keep the doors locked, man. Doors still locked, but the circuit breaker's back on. You're able to use the internet, just no texting and no phones. No calls and no texting. But you're able to your phone, you're able to see the time on your phone. If you want to know what time it is or the weather, you're able to use your phone in that capacity. But the doors are still locked, man. Till we get a forest of seeds planted in this motherfucker. You hear me? Yeah, get the $50 challenge rolling, man. I'm glad this guy said that, though. This guy's got some kahunas, man. This guy's got some kahunas, man. They're not big kahunas. I mean, he's a fucking glider, man. I mean, they're not big kahunas, but he has, like, there's something down there, man. There's something going on down there in his something's down there. I don't know. We'll see, man. We might have to do some testing on it or something. Send him to the lab, man, to see if it qualifies as a set of nuts. But even if it don't qualify as a set of testicles, man, there's something down there. And that's more than we can say for most of these gliders, man. There's something down there, man. Might be a mole, man. Might be a growth or something like that, but you got something going on down there, man.
Two-hour jump on the current one for unaccompanied minors. 6 teens were issued curfew violations Friday night.
These are inherently dangerous events. They're not silly kids making silly decisions.
Hopkins referring to a 2023 comment made by then Mayor-elect Brandon Johnson on the steps in Springfield. It came on the heels of a teen takeover in the Loop where 2 teens were shot.
Demonizing children is wrong. They're young. Sometimes they make silly decisions. They do. And so we have to make sure that we are investing to make sure that young people know that they are supported.
Residents we spoke with say they hope those on the 5th floor of City Hall take these concerns seriously.
It's sad, it's embarrassing, and then we just need to do better as a city.
That was WGN's Courtney Spinelli reporting. Mayor Brandon Johnson told reporters today the behavior last night will not be tolerated.
The mayor's comments came during an event here at Navy Pier directed at teenagers from at-risk neighborhoods, providing them with something to do, connecting them with resources for summer jobs and other activities. And it is more of this that the mayor believes would go a long way to preventing disruptions like what happened last night.
The reckless and dangerous behavior that was exhibited last night, no one wants to see that, and we're not going to tolerate it.
Mayor
You're not going to tolerate it. Mayor, you call it silly decisions, man. Shout out to People Watcher. He said, stay safe, everyone. Have a good night. Shout out to People Watcher. People Watcher, man. Salute to People Watcher, man. Ushers. Ushers. Yeah, move out of the aisles, Usher, and allow the people to get up and stretch. Allow the saints to get up and stretch if they want to, and walk up and down the aisles if they want to. We're starting to get some seeds planted in here. The doors are going to remain locked, but you're free to get up and stretch your legs in the aisles. Shout out to People Watching.
happened last night.
The reckless and dangerous behavior that was exhibited last night, no one wants to see that, and we're not going to tolerate it.
Mayor Brandon Johnson today reacting to last night's so-called teen takeover in Streeterville, where dozens of teenagers congregated near Cityfront Plaza at McClurgan, Illinois, creating a disruption that led to a 15-year-old boy being shot in the leg. Second Ward Alderman Brian Hopkins earlier adding more detail to what he described as 3 to 4 hours of uncontrolled chaos.
They were blocking traffic, jumping on cars, harassing pedestrians, stealing from the stores. There were several fights. Tasers were.
This nigga, man, he handcuffed and you still ain't got him under control. Shit.
There were several.
Where was this spirit during slavery, man? You niggas ain't had this shit during slavery when gliders was cracking them whips. Where was all this shit during slavery, man? Now gliders done went soft and y'all want to act tough and shit. When gliders was cracking them whips, y'all motherfuckers wasn't doing all this shit.
From the stores. There were several fights. Tasers were deployed.
It is not immediately clear what led to the shots being fired. The incident coming on the final weekend of spring break for Chicago students.
Look at how many girls there are. This large mob is a lot of girls, man. It's a lot of the female of the species, man. Look, all of these, like, look at all this. This is all girls, man.
On the final weekend of spring break for Chicago students.
Look.
It is.
If this was whites, man, this shit would be so civil. Don't get me wrong, the white girls would probably be doing some mean girl shit and bullying somebody or something. But it wouldn't be this, man. It wouldn't be this. Press 1. Shout out to Irish Goon, man. He said, salute, Ak and the nation. Sun community ain't no joke. Shout out to my big bro, Big Pete. P.S. Mass shooting in Washington. Oh, really? Washington, D.C. or Washington State? Mass shooting? Let me find out, man. This nigga said Washington. Was you in Washington, D.C. or Washington? I don't know what you talking about, bro. Oh, okay. I see it. Okay. I found it, man. Washington State. Thank you for that, man. We get to that. We get to that a little bit, man. Wow. We get to that, man. Thank you for that, man. Yes, yes. Ushers. Ushers. Open up the hallway that leads to the bathrooms and the water fountains. And one at a time, we'll allow one at a time. A saint can go use the bathroom one at a time and get a sip of water. But the doors are going to remain locked. Doors remain locked unless someone left their wallet in their car and they need to be escorted to their car to get that, and then promptly brought back to the church. Salute the Irish Goon, man. S Freak says, salute to the nation. All hail President Ock. Yes, yes, yes.
For Chicago students. It is a weekend during which the city also hosted its 4th annual My Chai, My Future Teen Bash event at Navy Pier, where it's estimated between 1,000 and 1,500 teens came out to participate. Some saying more of this is what is needed.
At first, when I came here, I'm like, this is gonna be so corny. And then I'm in here, and it's like so fun. There's so many things that I can do. So
he said, at first I thought it was gonna be so corny. Yeah, man. Corny. Yeah, man. Salute, man. I'm glad these kids have something to do, man. Give these kids something to do, man. I grew up in, they tried to give a lot for us to do, man. Yeah, man. That's good, man. Salute. I'm glad he had fun, man. All these kids aren't bad, man.
I'm like, this is gonna be so corny. And then I'm in here, and it's like so fun. There's so many things that I can do, so much of a variety.
Seven city councils saying what is needed is a change in the city's curfew for minors from the current 10 p.m. to 8 p.m.
That can be used to quell the violence before it starts. The police have asked for this tool. I think we need to give it to them. It's an extraordinarily difficult thing to do, to contain 300 teenagers when you only have about 60 police officers.
It's hard to contain 300 teenagers with 60 police officers. Yeah, if the police officers can't, I bet you 60 Pakistani police officers could contain 300 Pakistani students. Press 1. I bet you 60 Ukrainian police officers could handle 300 Ukrainian students. I bet you 60 El Salvadorian police officers can handle 300 El Salvadorian students. I bet you 60 Yemeni police officers could handle 300 Yemeni students. And the Lord said, yeah. What you mean they can't handle them? What's happening, man?
Yo, ain't it something that I wonder if these cops knew they signed up to be babysitters? You know, I mean, that's really what it comes down to. I mean, picture it. These pigs can't do shit anyway, right? But they're running around trying to stop these son kids from killing each other or hurting each other. But they really can't do shit about it because you cannot stop the sun from rising, you know?
Nope.
But you know what? I had a crazy ass moment of clarity like earlier today, right? I was reading the paper and it said at 1:45 a.m., right? Last night or this morning or whatever, they said that there was several street takeovers, like the cars. And I thought, because that's the Umbritos. And I it fucked me up because you have the Sun kids running around downtown marauding, and then you got the Umbritos doing this car bullshit. Think about that.
Yeah, on two fronts. You're fighting the war on two fronts, man.
Fighting a losing battle.
I'm telling you, man. And what were the gliders doing, man? I know they was up to no good.
They was probably out there burning crosses somewhere, you know?
Right, yeah. Gotta make sure we or putting nooses on people's desks, man.
Right. Hey, look, it's fuck it. I mean, think about this. The neighborhood these Sun kids ran to is called Streeterville, right? It's one of the most expensive, if not the most expensive neighborhood in the city, right? So all these people that picked up a mortgage in one of these buildings, right? Now they gotta go to sleep to the sweet sounds of Sun teens killing each other, right? What they should do, Ike, is put a noose at their door. Keep the babies away.
Yeah, that's all you gotta do, man. Yeah, but it's kind of like when they put what's that stuff they put on
the onions for the vampires?
Yeah, exactly, man. Yeah, put a noose on your door, like a reef.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Or what did the Moses Juice Crew say? Put like the blood of a lamb to keep the to keep our God away from your firstborn. But we laugh at, right? But it really is very sad. Yeah, they're not destroying the airports. They're not tearing. They're not literally destroying the city, right? Literally, I guess technically, right? But I mean, was it like 2 weeks ago where these sunbirds shot a tourist with a stray bullet?
Yeah,
a lady holding her.
Is this guy doing the Heisman? Is this guy doing the fucking Heisman right here? Yo, we might have to. Seriously, we may have to find this kid, man, and send him to Deion Sanders. Hey, Deion, man, we got one for you, man. You can save.
Right.
This one could be saved, man. Look at him, man. He got a Heisman pose down, man.
I mean, be fair, he probably got rapper dreams though. Probably want to be a rapper, you know.
He could be both, man. He could do both. Man.
He could be like that one dude in that plays cornerback and wide receiver. Travis Hunter.
Exactly, man. You do both, man. Look at this guy, man, carrying the football.
It's an extraordinarily difficult thing to do to contain
carrying the gun
teenagers when you only have about 60 police officers.
Changing the curfew is something that Alderman Hopkins first attempted to do last summer. At the time, City Council deferred the vote, sending the proposal back to committee. It is one that Mayor Johnson opposes, saying that enforcing the current curfew is enough.
Man, I hate that.
A 15-year-old was shot after hundreds of teenagers hit the streets downtown.
The curfew can't save you, you know? Well, it's like a bar no fight.
Yeah, this is y'all gonna vote him back into. I can just see it now. He's gonna do the second term.
You know what? Like I said, man, I have no faith in people. However, I could confidently say he's a one-term mayor, man. He has a 6% approval rating. I never heard of that.
15-year-old was shot after hundreds of teenagers hit the streets downtown last night.
Hey,
Most
do you
of the
hear that?
teens were peaceful, but some got into fistfights. At least one pulled out a taser. Mayor Brandon Johnson, who hosted a teen event at Navy Pier today, said in part, quote, "We are not going to tolerate that in our city. Our police department is currently investigating the incident, and all those who have caused chaos will be held accountable." Our Noel Brennan has more on the teen takeover and how it prompted one alderman to renew his call for a curfew change.
There's a reason we love it, and it's everything that's around here.
From his building's rooftop in Streeterville,
When people come visit Chicago, this is what they see.
Lucas Duza has seen the best
yeah?
and worst of Chicago.
We called 911. We kept calling 911.
Friday night, he saw hundreds of teens take over the streets below.
Yeah, I mean, you called 911. You see all those policemen? What the fuck? Like, what the fuck you
Right.
want them to drop paratroopers in? Like, you called 911. Like, yeah, like you keep
Right.
calling. Like, think about it. There was 60 cops down there.
Right.
That's a lot of fucking cops, man.
Hell yeah. Yo, I don't know if you hear, there's like a thumping in the background. I don't know if you're hearing it. It's gone right now, but it's like I don't know if you hear it. Like a thumping.
Oh, no.
But anyway, yeah, no, I mean, hey, look, maybe call again. Maybe that'll do it. Call 911 one more time.
Salute to Austin Doublecourt III. He says, dropping my ties. Salute. Shout out to Austin Doublecourt, man. A lot
That's
of
right. I
brothers,
like the door on the side.
Yeah, a lot of brother to get up and stretch his legs and get a sip of water, man. And then promptly bring him back to his seat, man. Salute, Austin Doublecourt III, man. Shout out to Bug Off, man. Bug Off in the building. Salute to Bug Off.
Below.
Right behind this building was when the gunshot rang out.
Chicago police say a 15-year-old boy was grazed by a bullet near Illinois and Columbus.
2 weeks ago at that corner, a woman was shot visiting from Connecticut.
On Friday, Lucas even captured video of a teen with a taser.
We've never seen this happen this early before. And
okay, at least he said this early. I was about to say this happens.
This early in the year, I think he's gonna say, because it's gonna be a long year. It's gonna be a long summer. Right?
Yeah, like what? Why is it? Is it because the weather broke? Because the weather's very nice here in Pennsylvania.
Oh, 100%. The way over here, it was like 75 degrees.
Okay, yeah. So it's the heat, man. It's not really the sun. It's the heat.
It's not the suns. It's the sun.
Yeah, exactly. It's blaming on the sun, man. This guy was. Am I right about this guy? Is he got a couple? Does he have like something going on in his pants? Like maybe not nuts, but just something more than most guys have down there.
You know what, man? He's an alderman for, again, I think the most, like the high, like there's a lot of money in his ward. You know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
So he's always advocated for law and order. I will say that, So he's like for Chicago, he's a conservative, which makes him a liberal still. You know what I'm saying? But
yeah, definitely.
By our standard here, he's a Nazi.
Wow.
With 2 consecutive gunfire incidents related to these teen takeovers, it's time that the entire city started treating this as the serious life-threatening situation that it is.
Alderman Brian Hopkins wants City Council to consider a curfew change for teens downtown from 10 p.m. to 8 p.m.
The police tell us that they could use this tool effectively. So if the police are asking for help, trying to quell violent takeovers of our streets, we should give them that help.
Hopkins' proposal from last year stalled in committee and was opposed by Mayor Brandon Johnson. A day after the latest teen takeover, the mayor's office is hosting a teen bash at Navy Pier. There's a resource.
No, that dude sucks, man.
He sucks, dude. But you know what? Hey, maybe it's crazy enough that maybe it'll work.
Yeah. What's going on, Ray Wall? What's happening, man?
Yo, what up, man?
What do you think, Ray Wall? You think that's gonna do it?
I just tuned in.
No.
Yeah, well,
man, they giving these kids this crappy ass entertainment, man. This guy sucks. You had your one shining moment, man. You get on TV and you fucked it up.
You
For
know
the
what?
latest
Rewalt,
teen
put it like this,
takeover, the
Rewalt.
mayor's office is
You
hosting
ain't
a
missed
teen.
much, man. If you seen one Ag Nation episode,
Yeah.
the sun sunning, you seen it all.
It's a curfew?
Yeah,
Damn.
another curfew.
Not quite.
Teen takeover. The mayor's office is hosting a teen bash at Navy Pier. There's a resource.
Christ, man. Jesus Christ, man. Where's Tony Hawk at, man, when you need him?
To the latest teen takeover, the mayor's office is hosting a teen bash at Navy Pier. There's a resource fair here to connect teens to jobs and opportunities to keep them occupied this summer.
I feel like this could help, a lot of kids in the
Right. I mean, shit. Speaks for itself.
Think about if your daughter brings this home, man. Like,
Oh,
this
man.
is one of the good ones. Not but like he's literally one of the good ones.
Yeah. You know what? I'm sure the son word that shot the other son word is thinking, man, where the fuck was this when I needed it before I pulled that trigger?
Yeah, because he would have definitely been down here. All the shooters would have definitely been down here.
Right, ski matched up and on.
This nigga, man, maybe you could save this one, man. But is it worth it? The resources it would take. Now, I'm serious though. Like
maybe not.
Like no. But what it would take, like, to save him, like,
yeah,
how much you would have to, like, tax dollars. How much man hours for whoever counselors and interrupters and social workers and tutors and people, mentors and shit.
Basketballs.
Just to get him to work at UPS and shit someday or some shit.
To like you said before, to sweep up hairs in a barbershop.
Yeah.
like this could help, a lot of kids in the neighborhood get off the streets, try to make their life, try to change their life for the better.
16-year-old Carlton Thomas heard all about Friday night, but says he wasn't downtown.
I'm happy I didn't go.
He says an earlier curfew might have helped a little.
A curfew would be good. I don't think it's going to stop everything that's happening at downtown, but it'll kind of reduce it.
Whatever happens in Streeterville, Lucas has the perfect vantage point of the good and the bad.
It's something you just don't see. And it's sad that we're seeing it right here.
Noel Brennan, CBS News, Chicago.
And again, the mortgage where he's at, it's got to be ridiculous. And for him to have to, see this, it has to hurt, like physically hurt,
A mass shooting caught on camera sends teens fleeing for safety.
Wow, these are white kids, yo. Oh, that is a black kid that's shooting them, but because he's the shooter right here. Look, he's the shooter. But look at all these white kids, man. This is Kirsten and Jill and Amy,
Aiden.
Yeah, goddamn Jess, man. He and the goddamn fucking Leon and shit right there.
Leroy.
A mass shooting caught on camera sends teens fleeing for safety.
Oh, that might be on Brito. Oh shit! What is that?
Again?
Yeah, that's an on Brito. My bad. That's goddamn Juan and shit. Fucking Juan.
Jose Miguel. Juan Jose Miguel.
A mass shooting caught on camera sends teens fleeing for safety and leaves a community reeling in tragedy. Tonight, 2 teens are dead, 4 others are injured, and another is in custody. Thanks for joining us. I'm Michelle Esteban. It happened just after midnight in the 17,000 block of 25th Avenue Court East. That's in Spanaway. Como's Karina Vargas has more from the neighbors who heard it all unfold.
Neighbors say it's devastating just how young these victims are. The youngest was just 16 years old, and they say that it's sad for the families whose kids won't be coming home. Chaos caught on camera. Surveillance video from a neighbor shows the moment gunshots rang out and dozens of people trying to escape. 2 people were killed and 4 others were seriously injured.
I heard like 4 or 5 gunshots, and at the end they sound like
firework possibly, but I didn't know what it was.
Cindy Bickford has lived in this neighborhood for 22 years. She said a fight broke out right before the mass shooting. The Pierce County Sheriff's Office said their deputies arrived moments after the shots rang out and found a 16-year-old boy on the street. But after attempting life-saving measures, he was pronounced dead.
There are young people and teenagers screaming and running every which direction. People were coming to the deputies, begging them. A friend had gunshot wound.
Officials say 5 other victims transported themselves to local hospitals. That's where another male died from his injuries. The 4 other victims sustained serious injuries, but deputies say they are expected to recover. Their ages range from 17 to 21 years old.
Now there's 2 people that their families have to be notified that they're not coming back home.
Cindy tells me she wishes more could have been done to shut the party down earlier.
It's a tragedy. I mean, it should never happen. I wish that the parents were here at the house, or if they were, that they would have done something. Or even the police officers that were called to be alerted about this party, that they would have showed up a little bit sooner so that this could have been prevented.
Deputies say that they recovered 2 firearms at the scene. Now, other than that 17-year-old male that was arrested, they tell me that they don't believe there are any more suspects outstanding. But for now, in Spanaway, Karina Vargas, Como News.
Yo, is that Seattle, Washington?
Tacoma, yes.
Those houses, they look nice. Look like a nice neighborhood.
Yeah.
But look how fast the cops responded. It reminded me, I think it was yesterday, I was watching the playback, right? And one of the gliders in the news talked about how the cops responded immediately. I think a rapper died or something. But he talked about how immediately the pigs showed up, right? Just like now. It's like gunfire, people run, here are the pigs. As always, right on cue,
Yeah, making everybody feel safe, man. When you hear them sirens, you get relieved, man. Maybe these niggas will stop shooting. Wow.
Night caught in the crossfire. A 71-year-old woman is gunned down in the Bronx while simply walking down the sidewalk. Good evening. I'm Maurice Dubois.
And I'm Christine Johnson. Tonight, police are looking for the gunman who killed her and also injured another woman.
The 71-year-old's just been identified as Enriqueta Rivera. The shooting happened in Mott Haven in the Bronx near 138th Street. As CBS 2's Alicia Reed explains, there's been 4 innocent bystanders shot in this area just this week.
Yo,
what the fuck?
Listen to this, man. Listen to this, man. And this is the Bronx, so you know this is POCs, man. This is like Puerto Ricans, blacks, Dominicans, and shit like that, but mostly Puerto Ricans and blacks. A lot of blacks.
As CBS 2's Alicia Reed explains, there's been 4 innocent bystanders shot in this area just this week.
Jeez.
Investigators combed the scene after a 71-year-old woman was shot to death near 138th Street and Brook Avenue.
Gave the CPR because I'm a nurse at Lincoln Hospital.
Good Samaritans and witnesses hesitant to show their faces in fear of retaliation. NYPD officials say 2 men got into a dispute Thursday afternoon. One took out a gun and started firing multiple times at the other.
We heard the shot like 4 times.
The senior citizen was shot in the back and immediately collapsed. We paused the surveillance video before she falls. The man, who police say was being targeted, runs past her towards 138th Street.
Those bullets struck 2 innocent people standing out on the street.
A 34-year-old woman who was also caught in the crossfire, now recovering from her injuries.
It's scary. It's very scary. It's frightening. This could be any of us.
On Tuesday, an 8-year-old boy getting off the school bus with his grandmother was shot in the same neighborhood. He is expected to survive.
He was scared to go to sleep at night. I acknowledge that because he felt like it was going to happen again.
In the 40th precinct, there have been 21 shootings so far, compared to 38 the same time last year. Those numbers are also down across.
Oh, is this old? Oh, that's old, man. I was wondering what the fuck. Okay, that's an old one. Damn, I don't know how that slipped it in, but still. still. What's going on, man?
What's poppin', Ak? How you doing, nation? How's everybody?
Ain't nothing, man. I made it.
What's going on?
Chin. Same old sun news, huh?
Yeah. Sunny situation, man. A sunny situation.
Yeah, we need
Why
an
you
umbrella
showing me
for all
this?
this sun.
Oh, I see why it's showing me all this old stuff. I'm on the wrong account. Let me see. Ooh.
Family and friends gathered to remember the life of a Memphis woman killed during a high-speed chase with Arkansas State Police. The 29-year-old woman was a passenger in a truck that investigators say would not stop for troopers.
We attended a vigil in the woman's honor. WRG's Raven Copeland spoke with her mother about this heartbreaking loss.
Dozens gathered at the North Fraser Community Center to honor Laterica Woods. The 29-year-old mother died on Tuesday.
Laterica.
What the fuck name?
Who would want to be named that? Like, you got to think about the
For
kids
real.
sometimes. You know, like, you're a little girl and shit, you in class, you got all these fucking pretty ass names and shit. This one named this one named that, this one named that, and your fucking name's Laterica.
Facts.
The fuck?
North Fraser Community Center to honor Laterica Woods. The 29-year-old mother died on Tuesday. She was a passenger in a truck driven by Torquilo Hambrick on I-40.
Oh my God. And his name is Torquilo.
What? Oh, hell no.
Laterica and Torquilo, man. What would they have named their baby, man? Shit. God damn. I think this is some rapper's sister, because I saw something about some rapper saying his sister died in a car accident from Memphis.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
What rapper?
She was a passenger in a truck driven by Torquilo Hambrick on I-40. Arkansas State Police say Hambrick led officers on a chase after they initiated a traffic stop. Woods' mother, Khadijah Tucker, tells WREG her daughter called her when it happened.
Well, when it happened, she called me. She said, "Mama, we on a high-speed chase." And I said, "What you talking about, baby?" She said, that was her boyfriend. She said, "He won't stop." And I said, "Tell him to stop now." And I heard him say, "I ain't stopping. I'm not stopping."
A state trooper then deployed a pit maneuver that hit the truck. That impact caused it to flip and crash into a ditch. Officers say Woods was ejected and unfortunately died at the scene.
Y'all didn't have no heart for them other people in their car. They could have thought.
Yeah, I would be upset. I ain't gonna lie about that one, Wiggy. I ain't gonna lie about that one, man. I would be pissed off if I was a parent. Fuck that. Fuck that.
It's tough though, because if they hit somebody, then the cops are at fault. You know.
No doubt. No doubt. I
Yeah.
mean, but still, like, I mean, if this ape, man, let that ape go, man. If I'm talking about, like, if you're the parent of somebody who's in the car and this fucking and you're gonna do a pit maneuver because this ape won't stop.
Yeah.
And you know that there's other people. I mean, I don't know if they know. I don't know. We don't know what the cops know. You know what I'm saying? And we don't know how much of a danger she is. I'm not blaming the cops. I'm just talking about, as a parent, I can understand how she would be upset.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Wow. Sucks, man. That's fucking sucks, man. That's brutal, Jack.
Yo, could you imagine
Officers
that's
say
the last
Woods was
phone
a
call?
I'm telling you. She probably was on the phone when the shit happened.
Yeah, you imagine that's the last phone call you get from your daughter that, hey, he won't stop. I'm on a high-speed chase. Nah, I'm not gonna stop.
Nigga in the background. That beast, our beast ain't stopping. That beast not stopping. Shit, I ain't going back there, man. And you gotta hear all that bullshit.
Yeah, all that retarded ass shit. Yep.
Then you wonder, like, how the fuck did you end up around these things? She said that's the girlfriend's, that's her friend's boyfriend.
Yeah. What the fuck she doing with him anyways? That's not even her boyfriend. That's her friend's boyfriend.
Probably just, I don't know, getting dropped off. I don't know what's going on. God damn, man. That's a tough one though, man. Whew.
Was ejected and unfortunately died at the scene.
Y'all didn't have no harm for them other people in their car. They could have thrown spikes. They could have put the roadblock up for their dog. But y'all took my baby. That was my heart.
Despite some of the criticism and concern, ASP is standing by its policy.
Fleeing suspects are terrorizing and traumatizing our communities. Our troopers will not look the other way. We will do what is safest for the public. And that's why we've instructed them that as soon as you can articulate that a suspect is fleeing, put them in the ditch.
As Woods' mother awaits answers and justice in her daughter's death, she's doing what she can to be strong for her 8-year-old grandson.
And I want justice for my daughter. Like, her son, and he needs to be compensated for life because y'all took his mama from him. My grandbaby 8. He'll never see her again.
Reporting from Fraser, for your news leader, Raven Copeland, WRE.
That's a tough one, Jack.
That's tough.
Yeah.
Police say 2 cars crashed into each other. One of those cars careening into that family who was in the crosswalk. The mother and 2 daughters were killed. A 3rd child, a 4-year-old boy, is now in critical condition in the hospital. Investigators say the driver who struck that family should not have been on the road in the first place. News 4's Charles Watson live in Midwood with more on how this tragedy unfolded. Charles.
Yeah, Brianna, truly tragic circumstances out here as we learn from Mayor Eric Adams and Police Commissioner Jessica Tisch that at least 3 people were killed in that 2-car collision out here at the intersection of Quentin Road and Ocean Parkway. I want to take a step out of the shot where you can see this section of Ocean Parkway remains closed as police continue their investigation down there by the vehicles that were involved in this deadly crash. Police tell us a 35-year-old mother had been crossing Ocean Parkway with 3 of her children when they were hit by that smashed up blue Audi down there. One of the children did survive and is currently in critical condition. Meantime, police tell us the driver of that blue Audi was operating that vehicle with a suspended license.
I'm trying to get out the way.
Emotions running high in this Midwood, Brooklyn neighborhood after police say a 2-car collision tragically hit a family of 4, killing 3.
When they came, the first thing they pulled out was a little kid and had a little kid on the ground.
Police say the crash happened shortly after 1 this afternoon. We're told this silver Camry had been traveling west on Quentin Road as it attempted to make a right onto Ocean Parkway. Authorities say it was clipped in the left rear side by this blue Audi traveling north on Ocean Parkway. The force of the crash causing the Audi to lose control and hit a mother and her 3 young children as they were crossing the street.
The mother and 2 children were pronounced deceased. The 3rd child was transported to Maimonides Medical Center and remains in critical condition.
To see a mother and her 2 children lost to a vehicle crash. This is extremely concerning and painful.
The mother's 3rd child is hospitalized in critical condition. 2 other children, along with 4 adults, including both drivers, are all listed in stable condition. Witnesses say that the mother and her 3 children have been crossing Ocean Parkway on a green light when they were hit. The force of the crash crumbling the backside of this vehicle while sending this Audi onto its roof.
He hit that car hard as shit.
For real, look at that. That's hard, for real.
Wow. That's so sad, man.
saying that's you said people can't drive or like what's going on here?
No, man, this is fucking shit. Oh, wow.
Families normally feel comfortable sending their children to. We're hearing that 3 teens were shot there.
A beacon of hope, a conduit, a safe haven.
Philadelphia police say at least 17 gunshots went flying at the Finley Recreation Center Saturday night. Kevin,
There's no safe haven with niggas, man.
the CEO of Activate, says the park
Like,
was busy.
Niggas, and especially if there's a lot of them and they're young. And when I mean young, I'm talking about like 35, under 35. You gonna have problems.
18 gunshots went flying at the Finley Recreation Center Saturday night. Kevin, the CEO of Activation Youth, says the park was busy with children on this 80-degree day, from the playground to the basketball courts.
Thank God that the shots went that way towards the building, because had the shooter pointed this way, there would have been more of a catastrophe.
There were a lot of kids here, and it's very fortunate that no one else was injured.
Police say 3 teens, 14, 15, and 16 years old, were injured in the shooting, and it was all caught in surveillance video at the rec center.
Those 2 people who we believe are shooters were also struck by gunfire. One was shot in the chest, and they are in critical condition at Einstein. A second person was shot in the leg and is also at Einstein Hospital in a stable condition.
Over in Southwest Philly, police tape remains from the fatal shooting late Friday night near the intersection of Elmwood Avenue and South 71st Street. Police say the victim was only in her late teens.
It's sad. I feel for her family. I feel for her mom. You know what I mean? I can't imagine, being a parent of a child that gets murdered.
Back over in Mount Airy, the Philadelphia Chief Public Safety Director Adam Geer stopped by Finley Rec Center following the gun violence, as many try to process these shootings involving youth in the community.
It's sad, but for me, unfortunately, it's the norm.
What took place was a travesty.
Both shootings remain under investigation. The one that happened today at the rec center, police believe it was targeted, but they say the motive remains unclear. And again, that 15-year-old who is in critical condition still remains in critical condition at the hospital.
Rec center, downtown.
And that's sad. A 15-year-old kid goes to fucking shoot some hoops and ends up in critical condition. I mean, what the fuck is that?
Yeah, gangland type of fucking shooting too. Like these dudes roll up and just start spraying and shit.
Straight bullshit. Can't even enjoy They could build all the parks they want, but what good is it if you go and then you end up in critical condition?
I'm telling you, man.
Like, what they gotta do is lock these fucking kids up and try them as adults.
Yeah, I agree. Man.
New at 6 in Midtown, a large gathering at an Airbnb ended in gunfire with one person injured overnight. That incident waking neighbors. WRG's Brian Didlake spoke with one man who says his home was actually used for cover during the exchange of gunfire. Brian, this whole thing sounds pretty alarming. What's he telling you tonight?
Certainly alarming indeed, Shay. Memphis police say one person has been injured and is recovering at Regional 1. But if you look behind me, you can still see that aftermath of the shooting, where we're seeing multiple bullet holes on the front door, the siding, and even on the second story. But the shooting was spilling from this Clark Place home all the way down to this intersection to Court Avenue, where you see that house at the end of the street at the corner. That's where Memphis police say that shooters were using that home as a shield during the exchange of gunfire. The shooters used that corner, again, shooting through the gutter. Memphis police say they responded a little before 2:30 Saturday morning. When they arrived, one man said he first heard an argument from his back porch. Officers say soon after is when shots rang out. The man tells officers during the exchange he saw 4 individuals enter a silver-colored Nissan Altima or Maxima and drive a short distance again to the intersection of Clark and Court. The firing continued with this home being used as a shield before driving away from the scene. We spoke with that homeowner who housed shielded shooters, who says by the time investigators marked the number of casings near his home, it was in the 90s.
There are a lot of them on my front porch, some on the front walkway, and then the rest out on the sidewalk in front of the home. And they were tagging them all with the numbers, and they got to that 91 on my side of the street, all on my property.
WR reached out to Airbnb, who gave the statement that reads, "We share the Memphis community's outrage over the senseless gun violence and hope the victim makes a swift recovery. Unauthorized and disruptive parties are banned on Airbnb, and our safety team has taken initial action to remove the booking guests from the platform. We stand ready to assist Memphis Police Department with their investigation." And coming up on the news at 10, hear more from this homeowner who says he is a bit disappointed on Memphis Police's response time when responding to this shooting. Hear more about that on the news at 10. But for now, we are live here in Midtown. Brian Ditlake for your news leader, WREG, Channel 3.
91 shell casings. Disturbing news there, Brian. Thank you.
Smoke and twisted metal is all that remains of a plane that crashed this afternoon in Brooklyn Park. This is new video coming in minutes before we went on air, just showing that devastation inside that home. Thanks for joining us, everyone. I'm Morgan Wolf. We start with breaking news out of Brooklyn Park. Right now, authorities are trying to piece together how that plane went down in a neighborhood, crashing into that home. In just the last 90 minutes, officials say that they believe to be no survivors from that plane. But amazingly, everyone inside that home is okay tonight.
Wow.
The NTSB says that the plane went down at 12:20 in the area of Noble Parkway and Kyle Avenue North, 5 miles from where investigators say that it was trying to land at the Anoka County Blaine Airport. The aftermath of that crash is just devastating. Look at all of those flames. Neighbors sharing this video with us moments right after that crash happened. You can see the smoke and flames just billowing from that home. We have team coverage of this plane crash tonight, and we're going to start with our Joe McCoy, who has the latest information from crews at the scene. Joe?
Yes, Morgan, I do have that latest information, but first I want to show everyone exactly how the scene looks now. Now that emergency crews have mostly cleared out, we're able to get a better vantage point to the damage that was caused to this home. On that left side there, you can see what it looks to be 2 vehicles that were in the garage. As you mentioned, Morgan, officials confirming there were no survivors who were on the plane. Officials did confirm now that none of the residents in that home were injured or killed. They said later tonight they're hoping to give us an update on whether or not those inside the home were either in the home when the crash happened or whether or not they were lucky enough not to be inside when this happened. So we learned that this was a small engine plane. Typically, these are reserved for business travel. It was flying from Des Moines, Iowa to the Anoka County Blaine Airport, as you mentioned, Morgan. This crash happened on Kyle Avenue. The nearest intersection is Kyle Avenue and Noble Parkway that is here in Brooklyn Park. That plane went down at 12:20, and the NTSB and FFA are investigating, which is customary for an incident like this. I want you all to take a listen to what the Brooklyn Park mayor had to say just about an hour or so ago.
The city, we're grateful there are no casualties within the actual residence itself. Heart goes out to the families and folks that were in the plane. But I will say that as a community.
Damn.
Oh, wow. Oh, this is the same one. I think this is the same one.
On top of this breaking overnight news, we're learning one person is in police custody after a deadly mass shooting at a house party in unincorporated Pierce County. It happened right near Spanaway Lake High School just after midnight. Nikki Torres there live talking to investigators. And Nikki, this happened at a party with a bunch of teenagers. That's what we're understanding this morning.
Taylor, according to the Pierce County Sheriff's Office, they say that there were up to 40 teenagers who were here at this house party that happened overnight. And we do know, according to the Sheriff's Office, that this shooting happened just before 12:30 overnight. So let's go ahead and rehash what happened here, because the scene actually just cleared minutes ago. So deputies responded to a large party. This is the 17,000 block of 25th Avenue Court East. And again, this is just nearby Spanaway Lake High School. That is when dozens of teenagers were running and screaming from a house party. Multiple callers told 911 that there was a fight that had broken out into the street. Now, just before deputies got here, they say that shots were fired and people were running and driving away from this neighborhood. Now, it's unclear how many shooters there were. At this point, deputies say that there was chaos in the street and cars were getting stuck in this neighborhood. Then deputies say that they found a teenage boy who was hurt in the street, and he did die here at the scene. There were 5 other victims who took themselves to different hospitals in this area, and the sheriff's office said that another teenage boy had died from his injuries at the hospital. There are 4 more victims, and they have serious injuries, but they are expected to recover. Detectives and forensics, they were here all morning long since that first 911 call. Gunfire damaged nearby homes and cars. Deputies say that they found several shell casings here that were scattered all throughout the street, and they did find 2 weapons. Now, the youngest victim is a 16-year-old boy, and the other victims do range in age from about 17 to 21 years old. And again, this is the 25th Avenue Court East that was initially closed off. It was just minutes ago, actually, that they had reopened this street. And we do know that one teenage boy has been arrested. But as far as the identities of the victims or that suspect, we do not have that at this time. So we're waiting.
Wow.
Need to learn more from the sheriff's office.
Man, shoot. So much going on, man.
Yo, don't these parents raise their kids? Like, what's up with this?
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
For real.
Home training. They used to call that shit home training. Do you remember that? Home training? You ain't got no home training. Your parents didn't home train. You got to know how to act.
That's wild. Sometimes people come from out of city, come up to the burbs.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, back then, the teachers, they could actually discipline you, teach you a lesson.
Yeah.
You don't have to worry about losing the job or nothing like that.
Telling you, man. Let's see these migrants. They said the migrants getting a rough reception in
the Salvadorian president sharing this dramatic video on X depicting TDA and MS-13 gang members hauled off into a plane, thrown into a bus as they're now being held in an infamous terrorism confinement center.
So the world's toughest gang members have been moved to the world's toughest prison after illegally entering America. And while so-called immigration advocates are terrified the Trump administration plans to send as many of these guys here as possible, it's these gang members who've done truly terrible things since secretly entering our country. And winding up in El Salvador's mega prison, that might be the only thing these thugs are truly afraid of.
Inside this mega prison, you'll find some of El Salvador's most dangerous gang members packed into massive cells, towers of bunk beds, and what looks like bird cages.
A senior Trump administration official telling News Nation in total 261 illegal aliens were deported to El Salvador.
These men described as the worst of the worst. It's tense and uncomfortable. But here, officials say comfort isn't meant to exist.
The men are loaded one by one onto special units and military buses, their heads forced down as officers keep them under strict control.
A federal judge verbally ordered the Trump administration to stop the deportation flights, but the administration did not comply, and El Salvador has sent the people to prison.
Everybody that was on that plane was either a Tren de Aragua member from Venezuela or MS-13. All of these people are the most notorious gang members that you can imagine.
So there are allegations of filth and malnourishment overrunning this prison, but the guards look pretty well fed to me, as do the prisoners. And what none of the advocates who hate this place will tell you is that the more we send dangerous gang members there, the less people like that are going to want to try to illegally enter our country and stay here. And even though the only folks America plans on sending to El Salvador's terrorism confinement center are members of dangerous organizations who've snuck across our border and committed some of the worst crimes imaginable, activists are losing their minds over this because the idea of criminal aliens facing consequences for illegal immigration is totally unacceptable to open borders progressives. Because these people are totally against anything that would stop someone from trying to enter our country illegally, even if that person is extremely dangerous and a gang member. And none of these people actually care what gang members do to the law-abiding immigrants they come here and try to blend in with, some of whom fled these dangerous criminals back in their home countries and now find them again here in America. And in fact, so many of these thugs have left their homes that crime in places like Venezuela has dropped drastically, as it's now happening here instead. Which brings us to the real reason this prison is such a game changer. Nobody wants to get sent there, and living there is the exact opposite of illegally living as a criminal in an American sanctuary city. And the possibility of ICE arresting and sending someone to El Salvador totally defeats the purpose of trying to come into America and live here when you're not supposed to. Because once you step inside this prison, your life changes forever, and it's impossible to escape.
Inside the prison walls, the men have their heads shaved in assembly line fashion while guards stand over them barking orders.
The moment they bring you into this place and shave your head, you are no longer the same person that you used to be out on the street, which is a good thing. Before these folks got here, they were gang members, trafficking and harming people on their illegal journey into our country and even after they get here. But as you're about to see, the shocking ways this prison breaks down a person's start before they even enter it.
Footage from El Salvador's government shows a high security transfer with shackled prisoners stumbling forward as heavily armed officers push them along. The wrists, ankles, and waist are tightly bound, forcing them to shovel in short, restricted steps. On the tarmac, riot police stand shoulder to shoulder, gripping their batons as helicopters hover overhead.
That's crazy. This entire process, before you even enter the prison, is designed for shock and awe and obviously security. Nobody's getting away from any of this. The guards are even dressed head to toe in body armor, and the prisoners are chained in a manner where they're hunched over and they can't even really walk. There's no way you could run away, and you need their help to get from the airplane into the bus, which is then going to bring you into the prison. You can see how they have people walking in what looks like a hunched over position. It's taking two guards to bring them from one place to another. And look at this, look at these gloves. If you're wearing gloves like that, once you've got something like this on your hand, anything your hand touches, you could exert quite a bit of force. Look, I fell off my bike and this broke, but my wrist was fine. And if you're going to handle a person with something like
Most local news. This is 8 News Now. Live, vocal, now.
A man killed in North Las Vegas identified as a former state senator's son. Good evening, and thanks for joining us tonight at 5 o'clock. I'm Sasha Loftus. 23-year-old Nanche Osborne was shot early Thursday morning at Aliante Casino. His mother is former Democratic State Senator Pat Spearman. 8 News Now reporter Madison Kimbrough joins us live tonight with the latest. Madison.
Yeah, Sasha, we're right by Aliante Casino and Hotel. Now, the shooting happened this past Thursday. It involved 19-year-old Arian Wormsley. You can take a look as we are right in front of the area, who allegedly shot Osborne and left him for dead in the Aliante Casino and Hotel parking lot. According to North Las Vegas police, Wormsley then left the area before officers arrived, which later prompted a carjacking spree across the valley. That chase included the carjackings of at least 3 drivers and ended with a crash into a bus stop. Now, as for Osborne, Senator Spearman's son, a family spokesperson sharing with the 8 News Now investigative team that the family is, quote, heartbroken, and that the senator and their family ask for privacy as they grieve and support one another during this time. Now, as for Wormsley, the suspect, he faces several charges, felony charges, including open murder and robbery. He is being held without bail at the North Las Vegas Community Correctional Center.
Vegas is rough.
Yeah, definitely. I wonder why.
Good evening. Thank you for joining us for News 3 Live at 5. I'm Steve Wolford. We now know the name of the young man shot and killed early Thursday morning at Aliante Casino. He's been identified as 23-year-old Naanche Osborne. Metro says the suspect, 19-year-old Arian Wormsley, is in custody. He was arrested after a long chase that involved 3 carjackings. The pursuit ended when the suspect crashed into a bus stop, critically injuring 1 person. Osborne was the adopted son of former Nevada State Senator Pat Spearman. He was charged with attempted murder in 2022 after Spearman said he shot her 40-year-old nephew, who survived. Spearman told reporters after that incident that she adopted Osborne to give him a better life.
My entire life, I've been committed to making a better place and better life for people, helping to improve their situations. This has rattled me to the core.
No media coverage was allowed this morning when the 19-year-old suspect in Osborne's murder appeared in court. Wormsley is being held at the North Las Vegas Correctional Center without bail.
Tonight, breaking news. States of emergency as hundreds flee ahead of out-of-control wildfires on the East Coast.
Wow. Wow.
Employees at a Northeast Portland convenience store are on edge tonight after an employee at the business alleges he was attacked during a robbery. Fox 12's Michaela Armstrong spoke with that employee and has more on why the store says this kind of crime and violence could cause the business to close its doors.
That's a glider. That's a whole glider, yo. That's a whole glider, man.
Portland,
yeah. What's up, new guy?
What up?
What's your
I
thought?
haven't been paying too much attention lately with the Trump stuff or what the black people are doing, but yeah, it seems like today's kind of a quiet night, huh?
I don't know about that, man. Salute the bug off, man. Bug off, man, in the building, man. He's 5 Op Nation memberships. Shout out to bug off, man.
The family business has been open for nearly a year, but employees say it hasn't been easy keeping the doors open, and now it's even becoming a challenge to keep safe on the job.
Because we don't know what's going to happen. We don't have any kind of safety. Just we have to do by self-defense.
Employees at OnMart, a convenience store in Northeast Portland on Martin Luther King Jr. Boulevard, are working in fear after a robber
They got a Martin Luther King Boulevard in fucking Portland?
Yeah, that is kind of egregious, isn't it?
Jesus Christ.
It's liberal over there.
It is.
Yeah. Still, though, like, this is like,
But it was a glider, right? Because I don't really think there's black people in Portland for the most part.
No, there's plenty of black
Martin
people.
Luther King Jr. Boulevard are working in fear after a robber allegedly assaulted an employee last week when being asked to leave.
I go nearby to him to just push him outside, but he just catch me and he start beating me. And then he has something sharp, like pocket knife in his keychain, in his hand, and he hit me on my hand and on my forehead.
Employee Anup Kumar says he was attacked by the suspected robber, and it continued outside. He says the robber not only cut him, but kicked him and threw things at him.
2 times burglary happened here, so nobody hurt at that time. But this time, they're trying to hurt me.
He has returned back to work, but says he still fears he could be assaulted again.
And it's not easy to survive here like this in fear. We came here to work for our family, for better future, for better life. But if these things can happen,
That really, this is like underwhelming. You glad your crime is always so fucking boring.
Cousin Mohammed Khan.
Like he didn't even really do nothing. It's more like he came in and like tried to kick his ass than rob him.
Yeah, these why the fuck are these people in like your country, honestly? Like and they complain that some white guy robbed them. It's like, my guy, why can't you just go back to where you came from? Like what? Why
Hey, is that my favorite Canuck?
Yeah, for sure it is. Like, why does every convenience store have to have a Patel running it? I just don't get it.
The Patels still get under your skin, huh?
Mm.
You know, I think the Patels are the Jews to the fishermen. You know, like that's your thing. You know.
Nah,
fair to say, Canuck?
they're nothing. They're not comparable in my opinion. They're not even close to comparable. There's just a lot of them. That's the problem.
Yeah,
So,
I mean the fish hates the Jews crew, and you hate the Patels. That's all I'm getting at. You know.
no. I'd put like Juice Crew are.
It's like a mini India. Yeah. There are too many Indians here. No.
We're Canadian. We're multicultural. But come on.
If we're going to their country, we will have to adapt to their culture, right? They should do the same thing here.
Well, I do feel like I'm a stranger in my own country.
Because you are.
Yeah.
One of the most obvious consequences of the federal government's diehard commitment to mass immigration would be the creation of ethnic enclaves, cities and towns across the country that don't look very Canadian and don't feel very Canadian. But one of the most infamous examples of that in our country is Brampton, here in the GTA. Let me just take you through some of the most recent demographic data that we have available about Brampton from the 2021 census. Now, keep in mind, Canada's population has spiked since 2021, and the majority of immigrants who come to Canada come to Ontario, and it appears that Brampton is where most of them happen to end up. The 2021 census data shows that Brampton is more than 80% visible minority. That means it's more than 80% non-white. Well, you break that data down even further, you start to figure out where everyone who lives in Brampton comes from. The top ethnic origin in the Brampton 2021 census data is India, unsurprisingly. 180,300 people who live in Brampton come from India. The second happens to be Punjabi. Why they are separated into different categories, I'm not quite sure, but 57,000. After that, it is Sikh at 43,900.
Indian. Sikh is Indian too.
Exactly, but they don't necessarily like each other, so that might be why they're separated. But like, no, Wicked, I'm telling you, man, it's like an invasion. It's like alien invasion.
Who do you think sucks more of the two groups? Or they just suck, period?
Oh yeah, okay, then probably the Jews crew, yeah, for sure.
No, between the Sikhs and the Patels.
Oh, honestly, I think the Sikhs are not quite so bad than the Patels. Like the Sikhs are, because you have to understand, like, there's so many different religions and factions in India.
Yeah,
it's like a continent, right? It's almost like its own planet,
right?
And
right.
The Sikhs are they're like more civilized, I'll say.
Yeah, they are. I met a Sikh girl one time, and we went out, and they're like a minority. They had been oppressed and shit for a long time over there.
They're
kind of like
conservative, right?
They're like the white people of India, kind of, and like they have a low birth rate too, and they have all like kind of the same hallmarks of like the more civilized groups, basically.
Yeah, they're still brown though. They're still very brown. Like, I mean, like they're not like, I wouldn't tell them white people at all.
No, I mean like in terms of like how they act, their behavior.
Oh, okay.
They're kind of like the white people of India.
940. Then
okay.
you get Canadian-born at 40,000. If you keep going further, you see that Hindu and Pakistani both come in right around 26,000. Now, what's most remarkable about Brampton's demographic data is that from 2016 to 2021, Brampton lost 6,000 people who were originally born in Canada. That's not the percentage of them declining. That's people who have actually left Brampton. Meanwhile, in that same period of time, Brampton's foreign-born population increased to 343,690, an increase of 11.3% compared to the decrease of 2.16% of Canadian-born residents in Brampton. Non-permanent residents who live in Brampton in 2016 went from 9,000 to 40,000. Again, that's just from 2016 to 2021. And we know, of course, that Canada's temporary immigration has spiked in the same period of time. So this data, it's safe to say, is quite out of date. But even still, that tells you a lot about the makeup of Brampton. That tells you a lot about the makeup of this ethnic enclave. So we're here to try and figure out if Brampton really deserves its reputation as one of the most infamous ethnic enclaves in Canada. We're going to explore the city, take a look around, and see what we can find in Brampton for ourselves.
7-Eleven.
You've been here for how many years?
15 years on this side of town and 5 years on the other side of town.
Wow, and so you must have seen it change quite a lot.
Well, yeah, the other side's modern, but it's a nice modern. They're turning this into an ugly kind of modern. I think it was called Flower Town. Now it's called Bangladesh. So I'm in such a minority. It's funny.
Wow.
Everywhere you look, the same thing. It's people. Why they keep coming in? My place is getting torn down for a parking lot. My apartment I've been in for 4 or 5 years.
Well, that was fascinating. We're here in downtown Brampton. We just spoke with the man who says he's been here for 15 to 20 years. He says the city has completely changed since when he first seen it. The demographics are so noticeable that it's almost hard for him to bear. He also said something very interesting, which is that they're tearing down apartment buildings where he says the majority of Canadians actually live, and they're replacing them with parking lots. They're replacing them probably with larger high-rise buildings to make way for more people coming into this country. It does say something very strange about what this is all, what's going on here, which is you have Canadians who feel like a minority in this city, who've been here for a long time, and now they're being kicked out of their rental apartments to make way for parking lots and other things. That's just the first person we've actually spoken to here in Brampton in the downtown area. And I can imagine that we might hear some very similar things, but we don't just want to speak to people who have been here for a long time. We also want to speak to people who are new to this city and what they make of living in this city and what they think about the reputation it has across the country. How long have you guys been here for?
1 year.
Okay, 1 year. Did you guys know one of the things that a lot of Canadians think about Brampton is that it's very Indian. There are a lot of Indian people who live here.
All Punjabis.
Yeah, did you guys know that? Did you guys know that before you came to Brampton?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We know very well.
Is it known back in India that Brampton is like that?
Yeah. That's why we come here.
Yeah.
Because there are a lot of college
Uh-oh.
opportunities.
Yeah.
That's why Indians come here.
We're doing a video about Brampton. We're just asking people if they like living in this city and what they think about it.
Oh, that's nice. Well, I mean, it's a pretty decent place. Then again, it's like a mini India in short.
Yeah.
You would see a lot of Indian people going around.
Yeah.
If you just scroll around, you'll see Indian people.
Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty intense. We're asking people what they think it feels more like an Indian city than it does like a Canadian city, right?
It does. It does.
You think that maybe there are too many Indian people in Brampton? Because they say that the demographics are pretty intense. Yeah.
There are too many Indians here.
Racism on top, so they call it. So did the crime.
So the crime's bad, right?
We've got here at a beach everywhere, right? Every weekend, every day, there's a fight all the time.
The fight?
All the time.
Really?
And homeless fighting homeless. Why? He knows that himself, right? Yep. It's not the racism that you worry about. It's the people that have nothing you got to worry about. You got more than they got, they're going to take it.
Wow.
You have $10 when you'll get robbed.
It's really bad.
That's bad.
Wow, what a contrast you just saw there. In one shot, you had new immigrants to Canada who say that, in their opinion, they're from India. They say that Brampton has too many Indians in the city. And then as we're talking to them about that, you've got Canadians who come here through the shot who say that the city is full of crime. It's dangerous. It's It's a place it's worse than they imagined it to be, and it's gotten much worse over a period of time. What a stark contrast you can see just in that one interaction about what this city is really like, because I've got to tell you, it's strange to walk around here and seeing what appears to be poor, homeless white people and a very large influx of newly landed immigrants, all specifically from India. And it's not just me saying that, it's the Indians themselves who've said that themselves. And it's not just me saying that, it's the Indians themselves who are saying that. Very strange. But we've been tipped off by more than one person who we've spoken to that the dangerous part of Brampton is this way. It's heading north out of downtown toward the park, where there's a lot of tents and a lot of homeless people. In fact, it's right behind this 7-Eleven, apparently. And I just have to say again, the contrast is shocking, really. A large number of white people who are homeless, poor, drug addicted, who complain about the state of the city, not due to the demographics, but actually due to the crime and due to the economic situation in this city. And then basically every immigrant we've spoken to who lives in Brampton, they've all said the same thing. They're from India, and they say there's too many Indians who live in this city.
Damn. So Indians even think it's too many Indians that live there.
I think among them, they kind of know, like they realize they're awful. They know that, but
yeah.
But how is the crime though? Are you familiar with it? How is it really though? Is it violent?
Like let's not pretend it's going to be anything close to like Sun level of crime. But you have to remember, Wicked, like
the glider, yeah.
In the night, basically everything 90s and beforehand. Canada was super, super, super white, like cigarette white, practically.
Yeah, vanilla. Very
vanilla. That's right. Vanilla ice cream, no sprinkles, right? So comparatively, in 2025, that's not a lot of time to have your fucking city go from 100% white to like 5% white or whatever the data they just showed us, right? So like we're not used to having suns, so we don't have like a baseline. Fair. And our baseline is just us, the white Canadian, right? So when you have all these Patels come in, it looks awful. Whereas if we were Americans, we'd be like, all right, these Patels aren't so bad because we have the blacks, right?
Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at, but I completely get where you're coming from, and then you explained it very well, actually.
Yeah, like the blacks are the greatest common denominator of crime. They make everything else kind of look like an artifact as a data point because it's just such a huge magnitude, right? But if there's no black people around, all of a sudden you start
it makes
to
it feel
compare
harmless. Like I imagine the crime there being kind of harmless, more of a nuisance.
Yeah, a nuisance. Yeah, a nuisance. Like we don't have people getting killed and stuff like the Suns do.
Right, and we do. So that's kind of for me. No shocker here, but that's kind of where my standard is at. Is people getting gunned down senselessly.
Yeah, man, that's America for you.
God bless it.
Yeah,
hey, don't you guys have elections coming up like this week or so, or soon? How's that looking?
Well, I know our prime minister. I know Trudeau is stepping down, and they're putting in someone else for him. I can't remember his name, but yeah, elections are around the corner. I don't know what's going to happen, but you have to understand, right? Like the quote unquote conservative party. Compared to the states, they're still quite liberal, right? I mean, the conservative Pierre Poilievre, like he's married to an immigrant, so that just kind of
a Patel.
No, that's JD Vance. JD Vance is married to Patel. Our guy Pierre, he's married to an Ambrita, I think, actually.
Really?
Yeah, from Venezuela or some shit like that.
A Maria.
Yeah, a Maria.
Hey, I agree with him. He has good taste.
But she's like I've seen her. She's like like a $5 Indian type, like just a white person with a tan type of thing.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, though, if all parties in Canada are pro-immigrant, then you have what we're looking at right now. I mean, what the fuck are you supposed to do? You can't vote yourself out of it.
Are y'all trying to like catch up with us population-wise? Like, what's the point of
So I mean, Trudeau is on record saying some quite crazy things over the years that he's been in office. Like one of them is he effectively described Canada as like a post-national nation, essentially meaning like it's a country that doesn't have a culture. It has all cultures, so it's basically just like an economic zone. So, I mean, if your elected president is saying something like that, I mean, you just got to imagine the direction your country is going to be headed in the future. And I heard something like 100 million people by like, I can't remember when, but if Trudeau were to stay in power, right, and everything was hunky dory, I would imagine we'd be getting 500,000 people every single year, like nonstop.
Yeah. Interesting.
Are all the white Canadians going to move to the U.S.?
I doubt it. And that wouldn't change all that much because, I know the U.S. has more immigrants, but on a per capita basis, I think it's less than Canada. I think Canada and Australia in particular are the two most like just outrageous examples of the replacement migration. Yeah, I think Australia even more so than Canada, because even they have a smaller population, and to my understanding, they're just flooded with Patels just everywhere.
Huh. Wow.
That's crazy.
Didn't we have an Australian on like a month or two ago? I remember.
Yeah, I remember something like that.
Yeah, what happened to that dude?
Hopefully he's all right, I guess. I don't know. But it sounds like a very bleak situation y'all got going on over there.
That's crazy.
I mean, it used to be a lot more balanced in terms of the various groups that came to Canada, right? But I think in the last 10 or 15 years, what has happened in China is that there's just less of an incentive for people to leave China. But India just became like the most populous country on the planet, and it's like, a pretty gross place to live. So there's this huge, just the amount that are coming in is increasing, and the proportion that are from India is increasing as well. So it's impossible to not notice.
Now, are these Patels that are coming to Canada, are they like better, well-off Patels, or is it like the scoundrels?
No, you could have made that argument in like the 70s, the 60s, or the 90s. Maybe you have like some Iranians that are well educated and all that bullshit, right?
Right.
But no, we have like folks coming in through all sorts of like diploma mill scams and all sorts of bullshit.
So like lower tier Patels.
Yeah, it's like we're just getting shitted on basically.
So these Patels that are coming, right? Because we all know the impression is that India is filthy, garbage everywhere, disgusting, right? Are they like that in Canada as well? Do they behave?
Yeah, 100%.
In that so there's garbage everywhere. It's filthy.
Yeah, DNA is DNA, and nothing changes on the plane ride here.
So, give me an example. Like, what do you mean it's filthy? Like, how so?
Like, basically, if you just go to, I don't live in Toronto, but I've been there before, and there are ethnic neighborhoods. It's true, and if you go to an Indian one, it'll be pretty fucking gross. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. You're not gonna have like the super violent crime though, like the Suns do, but the hygiene patterns are definitely there.
Wow.
And
stinks.
Yeah. So are these hotels, do they engage in the open market that they do back in India? You know what I mean? Can you picture it? Like in India, I've seen videos of them in the open markets, and it's like crowded and it's a lot going on. Are you doing that in Canada too?
I haven't seen that, but I would not be surprised if there was some sort of thing like that in Brampton. Quite honestly, man, someone's got to wake up Hawk. He's loud.
Yeah, I know. I mean, hey guys, you're looking at a father right here. You're looking at a father of two, man. It's not easy.
Yeah, no, for sure.
And he's still trying hard to continue the the show must go on, right?
Yeah,
it says almost one. Shit, I'm on the East Coast, man.
Yeah, facts.
Yeah, this white guy though. Something about this white guy. He's different than an American white guy. Something I can't put my finger on it, but he just. I was just looking at it. I was like, wow, he doesn't act like an American white guy, even though he acts like a white guy. This one right here.
Yeah.
It's like weird.
It's a fascinating contrast to witness. Do you think the immigration situation in Brampton has played a role in some of the downturn that's faced by a lot of people here?
Yeah, we don't want to be racist, but you know what? We're what you call it, invaded. We've been like
that was a topic.
Oh yeah,
But he looks
you spoke about that a few hours ago.
Yeah,
Yes, no.
Yeah,
like an ant and a sugar.
And
You know.
sugar.
and you're feeling invaded.
Yeah.
Maybe a native.
Yes,
Wow.
it's out of control.
Yeah.
I mean, every which way you go, it's this, that. And you can't even listen to yourself anymore because they're talking their own language. We're Canadian. We love everybody. We're Canadian. We're multicultural. But come on.
But I remember Brampton when only this side was here.
Really?
Yeah.
So you've been here for quite a while.
Yeah. It has gone down, but most of the riffraff, I hate to say it,
Yeah.
they're all dead now.
Really?
So
Is that because of
fentanyl.
drugs and
That's-
fentanyl?
Yeah. It's getting into the country and it's killing people. And that's what the sad part of Brampton is.
Yeah, well,
No housing,
yeah.
not enough shelters.
And yet we've seen that the population of Brampton continues to increase at an
Yeah, but
incredible pace.
it's not really, it's not Canadian people that are producing.
Right.
I'm not being disrespectful. I don't mean
course.
to be.
Of course.
I'm just saying that most people in Canada have 1 to 2 kids. But so many newcomers have come. They'll populate us.
Yeah.
So I can feel like I'm a stranger.
He said they help populate us. Yeah. Oh,
There you go,
shit.
Glider Queen.
You're in my own country.
You know, but I like my street. We have very good neighbors. We have very nice parks in Brampton, which I like, for riding bikes and walking, hiking, whatever. But something that I don't like and my neighbors don't like and a lot of people don't like, it's the immigration is too much.
Has it really gotten noticeably worse over the past few years?
Oh yes, because on my street, someone sold their house, and then you ended up with a rental house, and they leave 15 in the house, you know,
They do that.
They make burritos look normal, man, because burritos do the same thing to a degree. Like they outbreed you, and they live a lot of them in the house. But maybe it might be like 10 breeders in the house. But
10 families.
Shit, damn, that's crazy, man. It's rough up there, man.
Yeah, I don't see an end to this in glider countries in the Western world. It's kind of weird, you know. If you look at like the historical context of how the gliders spread out, well, now it's coming back to fuck them in the ass. It feels like, don't it?
Yeah,
because Canada, that continent was not gliders; it was natives. You know, it's kind of weird. It's kind of odd, you know.
Yeah, the world, everything's righting itself, man.
It's almost
not
poetic.
really, because the people that are coming in are not natives either. Like
No, they're not. But they are POC, I guess. I don't know. They're BIPOC, right?
But POCs don't exist outside the context of white people, right? Like Chinese people don't think they're people of color in China.
Well, to be fair, we don't think we're people of color either.
Right. Blacks don't think they're people of color either. We black.
Yeah, exactly. No one really thinks that they're that unless it's, trying to attack white people, basically.
Well, but the catch-all people of color is actually white liberals that create that.
That's actually true.
We don't create that. They create that, like the black and brown coalition. That's white liberals.
Right.
They would like herd us into a voting block so they can, get us all vote for them and shit.
Well, it worked pretty well
The
for
irony.
a long time. I mean, that was like the base of the Democratic Party.
It's kind of ironic,
Yeah.
man. If you think about it, it's kind of weird. Full
I bet,
circle, right?
I bet you all those women voted for it too.
Of course they did, and they'll vote for it. But those women will vote for it tomorrow. If the election was tomorrow, they would vote for it. They wouldn't understand, like they wouldn't make the connection.
Yep.
Well, you gotta understand, Trump bad.
Yeah, they can't make connections, man. Women yeah.
It's crazy to lose a country without having to fire a shot. You're being invaded.
Yeah, it's
There's
like
no
the
war.
Sandman. The Sandman in Europe, they're damn near conquering
Yeah.
Europe without one blade being stained.
And it is like, here's the thing, like all roads lead to white nationalism. It's just a matter of how you get there and at what time. I mean, because at the end of the day, like these migration patterns, simply what they do is they rise the cost of living in Western countries. And when I mean the cost, I don't just mean like financial, but like, okay, now living in the United States, if you don't want your kids to go to school with like blacks and Hispanics so they'll get terrorized, you have to be like in the upper class now at this point. It's becoming like like a working's man issue, even if like you are not particularly interested in racial issues, but like if you just want to avoid this type of stuff, you have to have a lot of money now.
Yeah. Well, look, dude. La Reconquista took 800 years, right? And we're like, what, in year 50 of this?
Yeah.
So 750 to go.
Whatever it is, like, it's just not ignorable at this point. Like, I think in the next 20 to 30 years, like it will be impossible to ignore. So something's going to happen. I don't know what, but yeah, I don't.
It's kind of hard to ignore now. I mean, you got to be retarded.
You think so, Wick? I think there's so many white people that can easily ignore it. You'd be shocked. Just, with the way that people migrate throughout the continental United States, like there's just ethnic enclaves, and yeah, man, like a bunch of white people and Jews crew just like living in basically areas where there's not many people of color. They're probably not thinking about it all that much.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, because even when they do come to a city, the black people do self-segregate, and then the white people move. See, that's another thing too. Like, white people just leave, man. They'll pack up this shit and just leave.
Yeah,
and they'll create another. Like they'll move to a suburb and they'll just live out there, and white people just sell their house. Like it's just crazy. Like the ability to y'all understand the system, like something like selling your house or keeping your house and selling it to like a person of color and living in your other house. You know what I mean? Like a lot of white people navigate the system very well because it's created by them. They have multiple properties. You know what I mean? Things like that, or they
Yeah. I mean, I've read a lot about it. Here in Chicago, in particular, how they they call it white flight, but how systematic it was. As it's very interesting when you mention it.
Yeah, same in Detroit. Like white flight was basically like a protest vote. Because if your kids are just getting beaten up by blacks all day, you have to fucking leave. You don't really have a choice, do you?
Yeah.
You could fight back. I don't know.
And you know, like sons like to use that term white flight as like a derogatory term, right? But it's like, you know, keep in mind, white is a catch-all term, but all of those people in Detroit were finding out, like the Jews, the Polish people, the Irish thing, all the different white ethnicities were coming to the same conclusion. Like my children are getting beat up all day. My daughters are getting sexually assaulted by some teens. So like, yo, we got to leave.
Yeah, for sure. You're right. Here, all the ethnic groups, that's exactly what happened. You know,
Yeah.
for a short period, they fought back. Like the young glider teams, they were fighting back, but they just kept getting overwhelmed because they kept leaving, and their numbers kept dwindling as the Hispanics, for example, kept increasing. And it was like, for your kids' safety, maybe you should move to, you know, to the suburbs. You know, go to Elmhurst or something.
Yeah, and the white middle to upper class America, fuck, they live almost as if it's still the 90s, because you kind of can. If you live in a white suburb, it's almost like it's still the 90s, you know, in various locations across the country. So folks that live in those areas, they're probably as liberal as you could possibly be, because they've never met a black person or a Mexican.
Well, here's the thing too. Like, you do see like your Target cashiers start to get brown. Your you know, your Taco Bell
7-Eleven.
at the drive-through at the Taco Bell, some fucking, you know, trans motherfucker at the drive-through and shit. But yeah, like I see what you're saying. Like, as far as like in school, you know what I mean? There's going to be a black school, like, because that's another thing. Like, if blacks and Latinos show up, that public school, the white people pulling their kids out of that public school, and they'll just pull their kids out of the public school. In the public school, they'll let the POCs have the public schools, and they'll like have a private school, or if there's two high schools in a little town over like a 10-year period, the one with the highest academic achievement will gradually become the white school, and the one with the lower academic achievement become the POC school.
Yeah, and they're no doubt in that process they'll like tout the increasing academic achievements, but fail to leave out the changing demographics responsible for it.
Yeah, and listen, I see that though, because like it feels like one thing too that blacks do. Blacks are outside, right? You ever hear blacks say we outside?
Oh yeah,
right?
oh yeah.
So it's like their population can be overestimated in a lot of places.
Yeah.
You feel the black presence very quickly.
Too, man. I was wondering about that once. How you feel it? You know?
Yeah, they use public transportation. They tend to congregate.
But even when they're driving through them, I mean, I've noticed it, and I wondered about it. You know, like how does you could feel them. You know, you could feel.
Yeah, they congregate in public. Like you don't see 10 white guys standing on the corner for like 4 or 5 hours at a time.
No, never. I've never seen it not once in my life.
Yeah, but black guys will do that.
I see that regularly.
Yeah, and I'm not necessarily talking about drugs either. Like just
no, not at all. I told you before. I've seen like the age range being from like 10 years old to like 70, all congregating. It's like how in the fuck is that age range loitering?
Yeah, blacks will they do things outside, like you go to, like a playground, it'll be a bunch of like men like hanging at the playground.
A bus vestibule.
Yeah, and whites are not like that. Whites are like more on the move. And then you have transient whites, like you have some transient whites, drug addicts and shit.
Sure.
But they're not. They don't congregate in large groups. It'd be
No.
like some dude pushing a cart and his fucking raggedy ass fucking girlfriend or some shit.
And even then, like you could text that to being a transient, right?
Yeah,
You could throw that in the transient box. But as far as like normal, like quote unquote normal men, you don't see
yeah,
that.
yeah. Blacks are outside, so it appears to be more of them because they're outside. They're like walking down the street and shit, and so it's like even if they're like 5% of the population. Say they go from 0 to 5% of the population, it feels like they're 15 to 20% of the population.
Man.
Sons, they like to go out and socialize and just like talk shit with each other and just be fucking delinquents, basically. Like it's I don't know, just kind of what Sun men like to do. I mean, how else do we have these like quote unquote teen takeovers or random people getting shot? Well, yeah, you have all these like men congregating all the time outside doing fucking nothing.
Right.
Yeah, then someone's gonna kill someone.
Exactly. That's actually a very good, very well said. Actually.
Yeah, man. If you're like some glider who's staying inside playing video games or studying
Right.
for your SAT or whatever, it's not it's not possible for you to engage in violence with other gliders because
Be
they're
caught in a
just not
mass
out there.
shooting. Right, for sure. Yeah, because I mean, sons, that's the damnedest thing. I like it could be, it could have been a mass shooting in this corner yesterday, and they'll be hanging out the next day, if not later on that day.
Yeah, all that night. Not even the next day. As soon as the police pull all the tape down, the yellow tape down, a couple hours later, sons are gonna be back out there.
I mean, it defies logic, man. It fucking defies logic.
It's just they what's the word? They're numb to the violence. Like the violence doesn't. It's not nothing out of the usual.
Right.
Not at all. Actually,
Yeah.
quite frankly, I think they're attracted to it. Like it's just like sons just kind of like to like fucking fight each other.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'm gonna need Fabian to explain that one to me, man. Hit the link, Fabian. Let me know.
Yeah, blacks are a special breed, man. We're off the charts.
Yeah,
Like,
very rough.
We're off the chart. Like whatever chart you got, like for all the races, we're not even on that spectrum. We're on a different spectrum.
The major leagues.
The sons will come to your town, right? And we're bold too. Like we'll come to your town, like you'll have no murders, right? Let's say you have one murder the last 5 years, and like we come to your town, we're like 4% of the population, like all of a sudden, right? And now you got like 8 murders the next year, right? We'll come to that town, increase the murder rate by 800%, right? And then like create like a big like racial scandal over some bullshit, like some
Right.
cop will some cop will like chase some guy and they'll like fucking scratch his fucking knee on the fucking ground and shit. And we'll be like out there protesting in your city about how y'all are racist and shit. And white people don't know how to. White people don't have
a rebuttal.
Yeah, they can't say fuck you bitch ass fucking niggas, get the fuck out of here. You know, like that's the rebuttal. No, that's the like literal. If we come to your town and we raise your murder rate 800% and raise like and now there's litter all over the place and we're fucking whining about some fucking piece of shit got fucking chased by a cop and we want to like brand the whole we want to brand the whole town racist now and import like protesters and reverends from fucking everywhere to fucking stand at podiums and call everybody racist in the new town. Right. The only rebuttal is shut the fuck up, you fucking niggers, get the fuck out of here. But you can't.
At the very least.
What I'm saying?
At the very least, man.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But whites can't do that.
Yeah, like no other group would tolerate it. Maybe Asians, actually East Asians, I think are kind of expected to tolerate it. But like,
who The Tigers?
Yeah,
Fuck no.
the Tigers in
No,
America
they
are
don't
kind of
tolerate it.
like
Fuck no.
they're expected to tolerate it.
Which ones? The Chinese? Hell
Yeah, the
no.
Chinese and like the Thais, like black people kill them all the fucking time.
No,
and-
in America.
He's not talking about in the. He said America. He's not talking about
in
that
America.
country.
In
Well, I
America,
mean,
yeah, in America.
Dude, Canuck, they're killing everybody.
But I feel like Mexicans will give that rebuttal. They're
They-
more
we
likely
will,
to
we
stand
will.
up.
But they're still killing us, though. They're killing us left and right, dude.
Well,
Nonetheless.
like you said, they're killing everyone. But I'm just
Right.
saying, like Mexicans will give like Mexicans will fight back to
Oh,
some
yeah.
degree.
For sure. No, we'll fight back 100%.
Mexican gangs won't take the shit, but
No.
the guy selling fruit,
Right.
he's getting killed. Now he going north.
Right.
Fucking
Right,
walking
right.
home from her second job at fucking 11 o'clock night. He's getting fucking knocked off. I mean, like
the breeders that are dating these dudes.
Yeah, we kill a lot of Mexicans like that, but yeah, the Mexican gangs don't take no shit from black people. No Hispanic ethnicity takes any shit on the gang level from black.
No. And there's no other demographic that is organized in that regard as far as gangs. Even though Sons are not necessarily quote unquote organized, they're still banded together in whatever capacity. No other demographic has that. Who? The Tigers don't, the Patels don't.
The mafia, the Italians used to, but they don't have it anymore.
But them dudes, they delete to a purpose. You know, it's about money with them. You know.
Yeah, but I mean, they still interacted with blacks in the street. You know what I mean?
Were they like fighting with them and like deleting them just to like, you know, like as a I don't know, maybe so. But I know the burritos, like I told you recently, about back of the yards. I was surprised at how many sons the burritos have been killing there. You know, you saw the video I sent you.
Yeah, you gotta kill some if you're in the streets, because you know sons, the level of like
the pressure,
the bandwidth for killing, like sons. They print killers. We print killers. Like we don't just like have like ones that are killers. Like you could do a sweep, right? Like in a neighborhood and lock up like 60 fucking guys. And that neighborhood is not gonna get any fucking better.
But you know what? And on top of that, there's a lot of like sons that are to be killed. I'm sorry. But just being around them and watching them and observing them, they're to be killed. Just they're audacious. You know what I mean?
They're awful. They're awful to each other. Like sons are terrible to each other, and street level sons. Like you said, the street in Black America is awful because the street is the basement. It's the residue of the society. So like the residue of Black society is just
right. Like they're to be killed. I mean, like they'll just try you for no reason, even, you know, for no apparent reason sometimes, right? I mean, I've seen sons like try other sons for no reason, but to try them, like to pull. They call it pulling your card, pulling your whole card.
Oh yeah, definitely. Sons are awful. I mean, just awful.
Some only respect violence too.
Yeah, exactly. That's true. That's another thing. That's the only thing they respect.
Only thing.
Like and depending on the son, depending on the violence. Like some sons will respect getting punched in the face. Some sons they only respect if you gonna come back and fucking kill somebody.
Yep.
Some sons won't respect a punch in the face. that ain't enough violence for them. They only respect you. They only respect you if they know you'll come back. You'll if you leave, they have to leave. That's their respect. That like if you leave, and they can just stand right there and keep talking and keep doing what they do, they don't respect you. They only respect you if he's gone. All right, we got the fuck out of here. That's the only type of son. A lot of sons don't even respect that. You gotta get the fuck out of here. This guy will come back and fucking kill somebody.
Yep.
Yeah. But yeah, man. Let me get some sleep, man. Let me get out of here, man. Salute to everybody out there, man. Salute to everybody. Did I miss any super chats? Yeah, man. Shout out to S Freak, man. He says, I think Gladys will inevitably be extinct. Nah.
I doubt it too.
Nah. Y'all have ruined your site, but y'all will go somewhere else. Like if let's just say Germany, right? Let's just say some fucking y'all let a bunch of fucking sand demons come in and take over Germany. Y'all will just go somewhere else and create another Germany.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like wherever y'all go, y'all gonna create what y'all create.
I feel like before they go extinct, they'll go to the bottom of the ocean.
They'll just create a Germany under the ocean. You know what I'm saying? They're always they always have that technological advantage, man.
Right. And
But
then sons will inevitably get in there and do drive-bys under the sea.
Yep. Yeah, definitely. Without a doubt. Same black time, same black channel. I'm out of here. Subscribe.